What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Mystics Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons joining us live from the ESA. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. The Mystics, they had a home and home with, back-to-back rather, with the Dallas Wings this weekend. And we saw them take both games yesterday, rather dominating fashion. This one a little bit different, but we saw them be the team that surged ahead in the third quarter versus the team that has that happen to them. Ray, your thoughts on Washington getting this win, 92-84 over Dallas?
Yeah, man. The third quarter, they gave them the separation they needed to take the game. The first half, Dallas they came out more intent on taking advantage of their size, which they weren't able to do yesterday. They punished the Mystics on the boards and got a lot of second chance opportunities, and also limited the Mystics to a lot of one-shot possessions, which was huge. And Natasha Howard, man, she started off very aggressive. Enrique got herself going a little earlier, and the first half, Dallas they just couldn't miss, and the Mystics they weren't as potent on either end as they were yesterday to start the game, and it showed. The offense wasn't as free flowing. They weren't creating and getting the same quality looks they were getting in yesterday's game, and they were down 5 at the half. They came out, made some adjustments, mostly on the defensive end. They limited Dallas's 3-point opportunities, and they were just more aggressive, fighting over screens, fighting a little bit more in the interior, and yeah, man, just holding the ground a little bit more, and it led to some. They were the ones getting fast break opportunities off turnovers, and converting those. Emily Engstler again got into the game and injected some energy and played really well. Ariel, she had a rough shooting night, but did a great job facilitating. She really dished the ball well and found her teammates and got them great looks. There was one play in particular. She rolled to the middle, and Stephanie Dawson found her for mid-range, but it was challenged. Then she immediately made the extra pass to Shatori Walker Kimbrough in the corner. Or no, it was Emily Engstler in the corner in the first half. Found her for an open three. And it's just those type of plays that kind of help them get back into the game and gain some control. But overall, man, they had to fight for this one, and it's good to see them be able to get wins like this, especially after how they won yesterday. They could have got shell shocked by how Dallas started the game, because they started the game really well, and it was a complete 180 from their performance yesterday. But they stayed the course. And it was manageable going into the half. Then it came back in the third quarter and kind of got back to what made them successful. The offense, they were getting downhill, kind of switching it up a little bit, and creating looks that way, and either finishing, or once they started finishing, Dallas was collapsing a little more. Then that's when they found teammates out on the 3-point line for getting better quality looks than they got in the first half. There was a lot of hands in the face in the first half. Second half looked a little different, man. They were able to catch the ball clean, set up, and get off wide open shots. So, yeah, man, that third quarter was huge. They won that quarter 29-14. Like you said, they usually been on the receiving end of that this season, and then find themselves having to scratch and claw their way back into it in the fourth. But they were able to put that pressure on Dallas this game, and then they were able to sustain it and win rather comfortably.
Yeah, I think that was the impressive thing, at least for me, was them sticking with it, and then them being the team that was the aggressor in the third quarter, coming out after halftime, like you said, with those adjustments. Another good outing from Emily Engstler, perfect from beyond the arc. A lot of what she brings is they need all of it. Every different way she can impact the game, they need all of it. Another big game from Steph Dolson too. Dallas, through both games this weekend, they struggle to deal with her, especially with her ability to pop. I don't know what happens with their bigs in those situations, but she made the most of it. She was 4 or 5 from deep in this game, 6 and 9 from the floor. Anytime your big is 4 or 5 from deep, you want to talk about space in the floor. It's on steroids in that case. That was huge. You had Maisha Hines-Allen going 2 or 3 from deep. 3 of their bigs, they had 14 threes a night. Well, this afternoon, I keep saying tonight, they had 14 threes today. and their bigs were largely responsible for most of it. As you touched on, with Aki is not a great shooting night, but she was everywhere defensively. It's about the 3 steals, the 2 blocks, the foul she drew, fighting over screens and whatnot. And again, another game where their bench made a big impact. Where if you take away the bench's impact, the outcome is a little different. And again, they're extremely shorthanded in this one. We know they've been missing Shakira also. We know they've been missing Brittany Sykes, no Leah Edwards yesterday or today. In this one, which she's been playing, she's carved out a bit of a role because of those injuries to the first 2 women I named. I love a job by Dolson, Hansel, and Inksler honing down on one of the biggest front lines in the league, even without Satu Sabali being at Dallas' disposal. That is a very, very big front line. And even though, they lost on the glass, really do think they did a good job they made Dallas pay. And I like the fact that they got to the line 18 times. Thought that was huge too. But credit to them for sticking with it. And even down the stretch, a lot of things we've been talking about, they've been in so many games this year, down the stretch kind of wavered. That wasn't the case in this one. All right, that being said, player of the game, right?
I went Stephanie Dawson today. Her, like you pointed out, man, her having to battle that size, being really the lone big, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, she had 18 and 8. You mentioned the shooting. It just made things difficult for the Dallas bigs, and it just gave another layer to the Mystics, or especially on offense. But defensively, we saw a couple times, same as she did yesterday. She just simply was big and was a wall, and kind of a deterrent, and that gave them opportunities to defend, as opposed to Dallas just getting a quick, easy shot down low. So I went with her.
Hey, look, man. When you're right, you're right. No argument for me at all. And it almost countered the start that Natasha Howard got off to. You talked about it earlier. Like she got off to, I think it was a career high 16 points in the quarter. And she finished the game with 26. So credit to Washington for that. So when they had 16 in the first quarter, they only have 10 the rest of the way. You talked about Washington's defense earlier, but yeah, definitely Steph. And again, 4 for 5 from deep and getting on the glass. That's 2 games in a row in which she outperformed the duo of McCowan and Brown for Washington while they're shorthanded. So credit to her. X Factor.
I went reverse today. Emily Anksler. She, Mystics were kind of sputtering along, but when she came in the game and started to get rolling, that kind of gave them a little bit more energy and got things opened up a little bit. And she just made some high energy plays. I feel like the game really turned around once she got that. She got a steal, then went coast to coast for the finish. That just kind of injected the arena and the team with some much needed energy. And she just continued that stellar play as the game went on.
Yeah, again, no argument there. Another big outing in which the team needed every bit of it. No turnovers, 5 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 3 from deep, 4 boards, a couple of assists, a couple steals, and again having the added luxury of yet another big that can rip it off the glass and go. And also, for Dallas' defense, we talked about their front line. It was another big that had the ability to put the ball on the floor and get downhill at times. Kind of put more pressure on their defense. So credit to both Inkster and Dolson tonight for their production in Washington. It's the second time in as many weeks they had a 2-game win streak. Might not seem like much, but we know how the season started. They're 4-13. They're 3-5 at home after today, and they get some days to kind of get themselves together, and then tell you who they're going to be facing, because I always forget to look before we get started. I know they have the Aces next week, no matter what day. They got Connecticut.
Connecticut and Aces. Within a couple of days of each other.
Man, talk about that. So you get some days to get yourself together, because you're going to be in 2 wars on Thursday and Saturday this week. But again, it's still an opportunity where you could possibly get the 5 or 5 at home, depending on how things go. Also, a couple of days rest. Also late in the game, I think Carly Samuelson went to the back, left the floor. Hopefully that injury, it looked like she re-injured her hand, that it's not too serious. They don't need any more injuries at all. And also maybe that'll force some time to get some of those bodies that are gone back for these 2 games this upcoming weekend. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch up with y'all soon.